Assalamu alaikum. Surat al-Israa. Today from verse 50 to verse 58. أعوذ بالله. Well, can't drink water. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل كونوا حجارة أو حديدا أو خلقا مما يكبر في صدوركم فسيقولون من يعيدنا قل الذي فطركم أول مرة فسينغضون إليك رؤوسهم ويقولون متى هو قل عسى أن يكون قريبا يوم يدعوكم فتستجيبون بحمده وتظنون إن لبثتم إلا قليلا وقل لعبادي يقولوا التي هي أحسن إن الشيطان ينزغ بينهم إن الشيطان كان للإنسان عدوا مبينا ربكم أعلم بكم إن يشاء يرحمكم أو إن يشاء يعذبكم وما أرسلنا عليهم وكيلا وربك أعلم بمن في السماوات والأرض ولقد فضلنا بعض النبيين على بعض وآتينا داود زبورا قل ادعوا الذين زعمتم من دونه فلا يملكون كشف الضر عنكم ولا تحويلا أولئك الذين يدعون يبتغون إلى ربهم الوسيلة أيهم أقرب فيرجون رحمته ويخافون عذابه إن عذاب ربك كان محذورا وإن من قرية إلا نحن مهلكوها قبل يوم القيامة أو معذبوها عذابا شديدا كان ذلك في الكتاب مسطورا. Now, as we planned, you've read your translation. So I'm going to concentrate on one of the most important things starting right now, because after this lesson I'm going to do the Tawheed book about Sihr. And Sihr, this magic business, is so huge that I don't know where to start with all the offshoots and the misunderstandings that have to do with not sticking to what Allah has warned you about so many times, and you more or less blow it off, or I don't know what's wrong with people. Prophet Muhammad said, what can lead you to the fire are two things: your tongue and your genitals. He also said, Imsik alayka hada, and he did this, and he held his tongue. He held his tongue, and we even say in English, well, the old days, hold your tongue. It was an old saying of, grandparents and parents, hold your tongue. Of course that came from Prophet Muhammad holding his tongue. He actually showed us, words and deeds are what we need sometimes. And he did that. He held on to his tongue. So here, I want to go straight down to the middle, well, third way down, where Allah says, tell my servants to say what's best. And when the shaitan prompts you, yanzaku, It's this word nazgh. It's like, it even sounds, ugh. It means to sow division. When the shaitan yanzigh bainahum, inna shaitana kana lil insani aduwan mubina. He has many tricks, but the best one that he can use all the time, it's easier, and it works, absolutely it works with everyone, is to say something mean, critical, to tease you, to put you down, humiliate you, get you all riled up, scare you. These are the ways of shaitan. So right here, as I said, a third way down the page, Allah says to you, shaitan is aduwan mubina. Adu means your enemy. And mubin means your clear enemy. So these people that have, you like the word, hoodwinked my country by making a joke about Satan. You know, Saturday Night Live, that show that we were all addicted to when I was, oh my goodness, in my 20s. Yeah, 50 years ago. There was a show called Saturday Night Live, and it came on at 11:30 after the news. Nightly news, then Saturday Night Live. And it lasted for an hour and a half. And it was genius, if you want to use the word. It was funny, very funny. The comedy was not dirty back in the day, a little tiny bit, maybe a touch, but not like now. And the acting was genius, over the top. When it first started, there were 3 or 4, 5 or 6. I'm fasting. I don't know why I'm praising Saturday Night Live, because everyone watched it. And guess what? It's still on. But not many people watch it anymore because it turned nasty, dirty. We say in Arabic, but it means very impolite. You don't do that. You don't say that. It's aib. It's a slang word for when the traditional people tell you to scold you. They don't use Quran and Sunnah because they're mainly, well, there is a 60% illiteracy rate in Egypt until now. But they will say, aib, it's aib, don't do it, it's aib. And I remember when I first lived there, I said, what the heck is this word? It's just not tradition. It's just not done. And there are many things that are aib that are okay in Islam. I'm just saying the culture clashes with the religion so often everywhere all over the world. Now, Satan can make you do these things, these aib things, and it would probably hurt your parents or the elders more than if you gave them a verse of Quran. So he knows his target, and he's targeting the way in which it will bother you the most, depending on your family and your relationships and your friends. And what more can Allah say other than 2 perfect words? He is your open enemy. Now, did I know that in my 20s, 30s, 40s, I was in Egypt. I spent my 20s and 30s watching Saturday Night Live every Saturday night. We all did. Adults didn't, our parents didn't. But this was something we say in English, we cut our teeth on, you know? Babies, when they're teething, they cry a lot because it hurts. And we use the expression, oh, the baby's cutting their teeth. It means the little teeth are pushing up through the gums. This is how we teased. It makes me so sad to think how sneakily it was achieved. And, there are some that we know are experts in comedy and film and TV and drama and production and all of that. And they achieved their goal. And they did achieve their goal. Now we have the comedy clubs where you can sit and drink alcohol. And this is not new. My mom's day, there was Las Vegas, but you had to pay a plane ticket to get over there, and it was mainly for gambling. But they also had what they call the theater in Las Vegas. So you could gamble and you could sit in a atmosphere which was comedy, or Elvis Presley could sing to you, or I don't want to talk about all their names because it brings back I'm fasting, and it brings back such a volcano avalanche onslaught of what we call, as Muslims, Ghazwat Fikri, meaning a frontal attack with ideologies, or another word we use is Tahwil al-Fitra, changing your basic good nature, is achieved through means of fun and jokes and laughter, singing songs, whether they be upbeat rock, pop, hard rock, whatever. We have reggae. There's so many different kinds of music. And then you have your romantic songs where you could just fall over listening to, my mom's day, it was Frank Sinatra, Bing Crosby, Tony Bennett, Andy Williams. No, Andy Williams was my day too. They called them the crooners. They were romantic. They were so talented, beautiful voices, handsome men. And they could play the part so dramatically. Now, if you want to look back to my Ramadan 2 years ago when I was in Jacksonville, I will ask you to please look back to what I was doing then on this subject, and I was targeting and pinpointing certain, what I would call, perpetrators of stealing our hearts. Because you see, that's what happened to us. Our little hearts, young, in bloom, fresh teens, were hijacked by the master hijacker, Satan. Now, when you become a Muslim and shuyukh warn you about these things, I recognized it immediately. I'm not saying I stopped immediately, but I knew that this was Satan's plot. So way back, I knew. I went to Catholic school after all, so they weren't so precise. But these two words in Surat al-Israa, and I'm going to give you the number now just in case some of you haven't prepared and done your homework, as I tell you to read it in English before I come. It's verse 53. كان الإنسان عدوا مبينا كان للإنسان إن الشيطان كان للإنسان عدوا مبينا. The reason I started off with this is it is so powerful. 2 words, never has changed since the fall of Adam and Hawa from the paradise when they listened to the whisperings of Satan. Shall I go on? No, I think this is enough now, because this one powerful verse, I'm going to take up all my time, and I have 5 more minutes to prove to you with an example of what I mean. And I told you, you can go back 2 years ago in Ramadan and see what I was doing then. I did like 4 examples, 4 different YouTube videos. But when I just mentioned the word acting and theater, I want to close with this. In my generation, Elvis was the thing, And he was probably the last he called himself the king. Huh. And he was, and he still is, as far as if you're going to talk about, I don't know, the best talent, handsome, whatever they are or what they were or what they still want to be. But sadly, in this generation, Satan's got a different tact. He has the drug addiction now. And he has the real in-your-face kind of, the gays changing their gender and, these people with pins and needles and nails and whatever else goes on in their heads. And they extend their lips and their ears like people did in Africa years ago, but it's not normal. They're changing their whole physicality. And is that worse or less than when we had to face, as young women, Elvis Presley? It's just Satan in a different disguise. Because if you're a right-on Muslimah, and you're going to read the Quran, inshallah, every day, and inshallah you're going to pay attention, you will have stop signs, slow down signs. You will have this property is condemned signs, and you will know better. Inshallah, you will know better. But most people won't, you see, because they don't care, and Allah has told us they don't care. I just want to give you, in closing, to clarify this that I chose today from this page. It's a line from one of Elvis's hit songs called Are You Lonesome Tonight? I think it's okay. I'm fasting, ana sa'ima, but I'm proving a point here, and there's no denying it. So if any of you think I'm a little bit over the top, oh, she's radical, oh, she's too whatever, I get these complaints all the time. But only from people who don't know the Quran. Here it is. The name of the song is Are You Lonesome Tonight? And here are a few verses. Of course, Elvis's voice and the music, but I'm just going to read it to you. Or I'm going to recite it to prove my point, to prove Allah's point. Are you lonesome tonight? Do you miss me tonight? Are you sorry we drifted apart? Does your memory fade to the bright summer day when I kissed you and called you sweetheart? Do the chairs in your parlor seem empty and bare? Do you gaze at your doorstep and picture me there? Is your heart filled with pain? Shall I come back again? Tell me, dear, are you lonesome tonight? And that's the melody. The melody is the song part, like, ooh, and then it turns dark, where he just simply speaks. You say that love's a game, and we all must play a part. You see, here comes the drama. I had you playing at love. You were my sweetheart. You read your lines so cleverly and never missed a cue. Then came Act 2. You seemed to change. You acted strange. And why, I'll never know. But if you don't come back to me, then they can bring the curtain down. Now you see, this is a play on words. The song is, it's a moan. It's a sad, lonely song. That's why it's called Are You Lonesome Tonight? And you can feel the singer is in agony. Who brings sadness and fear? Remember I told you his weapons? Sadness, fear, and anger. So when you were a young girl in America, I will say the worst was late 50s and 60s, all that generation. It was a frontal assault like the Israelis when they're doing a frontal assault on the Palestinians. Who's behind that? Certainly not Allah and His angels. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Oh, by the way, Surah Israa, remember, we're finishing this whole thing in Ramadan, and there will be a lot of insight coming your way, whether they like it or not. I'm going to do it. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.